And another thing, I find it quite suspicious that right after a major tragedy with like 20 plus people died, that a random TikToker with 7,000 followers is who y'all want to interview.
You can feel the storm brewing before a single name is even read aloud. The video starts simple, just Sade Perkins sitting at a desk, her voice calm, too calm, but her eyes locked in, like someone who's about to shake the entire foundation of a very specific community. You watch her unfold a paper. She doesn't rush. She wants the weight of every name to land. These are the people, she says, who thought they could stay anonymous forever. And just like that, it begins. The setting? Camp Mystic, a place once known for its generational ties, wealthy family networks, and that pristine brochure-perfect image. But behind the cabins and curated activities, Sade says, was something darker. She alleges that a group of parents, powerful, well-connected ones, coordinated actions meant to exclude and isolate her nephews after the flood incident. She doesn't hold back. They didn't just ignore what happened, she says. They tried to erase it. The video clips jump to screenshots, emails, group chat snippets, even Venmo transactions. She claims these digital receipts prove that a select group of Camp Mystic parents tried to silence her family after 2 young boys drowned during last month's tragic storm. Sade's tone never cracks, but it's the stillness in her delivery that makes the message hit harder. No yelling, no theatrics, just names. Read one by one, then she pauses. She holds up a photo. It's of her nephews, the boys lost in the flood. This wasn't an accident, she says. It was a cover-up that started the minute their bodies were pulled from that water. Now people are asking, if what Sade says is true, and these parents work together to bury the truth, how far will this list reach? And what happens when the last name on it isn't just another parent, but someone with power to bury the whole thing again? You scroll through the comments and realize this isn't just a viral video, it's a public reckoning. Within hours of Sade Perkins posting the list, forums, group chats, and even private Instagram stories across Texas begin lighting up with reactions. People aren't just stunned, they're divided. Some call her brave, others call it slander, but no one can look away, and neither can the families named. One mother, part of Austin's elite, releases a statement denying everything. This is a baseless attack, she says. But even her PR-filtered words can't outpace the screenshots now circulating with her name on them. The photo Sade included, a cropped group message from just days after the flood. "Don't engage," it reads. "They'll go away if we stay quiet." But Sade didn't go away. She waited, built her case, and now she's playing offense. Behind her words is a legal team, reportedly preparing to file civil action against Camp Mystic itself for what they're calling intentional negligence and racial misconduct. The lawsuit would include not just the camp's board of directors, but also individual parents if proven complicit in suppressing details about the flood and its aftermath. One lawyer even says, if these parents conspired to limit press or silence victims, we're talking about a potential RICO situation. Meanwhile, the video itself hits over 1.7 million views in 24 hours. The names she read, they're now trending, each tagged in posts by people who demand accountability. Protesters have already begun organizing outside the camp's administration building, while local news vans fight for parking near the family's home. And now viewers are wondering, is Sade just exposing a private cover-up? Or is this the start of something far bigger? What happens if this list proves to be just the tip of a much deeper conspiracy? The backlash doesn't stay online. By morning, reporters are camped outside multiple homes, names from the list plastered across their lower thirds. One father tries to leave in a black SUV, but protesters block his driveway chanting, "Say their names." Others hold signs reading, "We want answers," and Camp Mystic lied. But the real chaos erupts at the school board meeting that night. Several of the parents on Sade's list sit on local education and charity boards, names with pull, money, and legacy in their communities. But tonight, none of that matters. One by one, speakers take the podium, not to ask questions, but to demand resignations. A young woman in tears holds up a photo of her drowned cousin. "You didn't just ignore the flood," she says. "You ignored us." Some in the crowd applaud, others stay silent. Security begins lining the walls. The school board chair tries to regain control. "This is not the forum for these accusations," he says, but no one's listening. Every microphone becomes a weapon, and every accusation lands like a punch to the chest. Meanwhile, Sade releases another post, this time a screenshot of an internal email between Camp Mystic staff. Dated just one day after the flood, it allegedly reads, "We must maintain optics, avoid press. Parents should be discouraged from posting." You read it twice. The timestamp is real. The tone, cold, calculated. And now the court of public opinion is louder than ever. Calls for a federal investigation begin trending. The local mayor's office is forced to respond. Even celebrities begin weighing in, some siding with Sade, others urging caution before judgment. And as this all plays out, a single question starts spreading like wildfire. What else is she holding back? If this is just the first leak, how deep does this go? You scroll through the footage again. This time, it's not just Sade's voice that dominates the screen. It's the faces of grieving families. A newly surfaced video shows a group of Camp Mystic parents at a private fundraiser held just 2 weeks after the flood. Laughter, champagne, silent auction tables lined with items, no moment of silence, no tribute, just business as usual. And now, it's all over social media. The caption reads, "Imagine partying while families were still fishing for their children's bodies." It's brutal, and it's spreading fast. One of the parents shown laughing in the clip, Chad Durham, a well-known real estate developer, tries to explain it away in a statement. "It was a charity event planned months prior," he says. "We were mourning in our own way, but public sympathy is running dry." The video's release also reveals something more damning. A board member, later identified as Michelle Harper, was the one who originally told Sade not to post anything emotional about the flood. The footage shows her with a glass of wine, arm around Chad, laughing as someone jokes about bad press season. Sade responds in a now viral live stream. "She told me to shut up because it would hurt the camp's image. Not because she cared, not because she was mourning, because she was protecting a brand." You watch the comment section explode. People tagging government agencies, news outlets, and even major brands that have partnered with Camp Mystic in the past. Sponsors begin pulling out. Local reporters swarm Harper's home. Durham disables comments on all platforms. And through it all, one thing becomes clearer than ever. This isn't just about what happened at Camp Mystic. It's about the people who tried to erase the aftermath, who chose optics over outrage, and now they're paying the price. But will anyone actually be held accountable? The silence from Camp Mystic's official channels is deafening. No apology, no statement, not even a scheduled press conference. But that doesn't stop the story from growing. A drone video hits the internet. Camp Mystic's pristine front gates, now sealed shut, with security guards posted out front. Protesters gather just beyond the property line, holding signs that say their names, and "you can't bury the truth." But it's what happens off the campgrounds that really shifts the tone. An anonymous source leaks a series of internal Slack messages between board members. The messages, now verified, reveal a calculated effort to suppress any criticism of the camp online. One reads, "We need to get ahead of this before Sade becomes the face of a movement." Another, "She's emotional. Weaponize that narrative before it turns into something bigger." Sade responds within hours. She posts a photo of herself holding a folder labeled Camp Mystic Records, with a simple caption, "You wanted war? Let's go." And just like that, the energy shifts. The internet goes from mourning to mobilizing. Creators, journalists, and even former campers begin stitching their own stories to hers, talking about racial bias, gaslighting, and the unspoken hierarchy at elite summer programs like Mystic. A former staffer posts, "They always said Mystic wasn't for everyone. What they meant was, it wasn't for kids like Sade. The storm is no longer isolated, it's national." And Sade's name, once dismissed as just a counselor, is now trending beside headlines about lawsuits and congressional inquiries. The question now isn't whether Camp Mystic can survive the scandal. It's whether those who helped build it, then tried to bury the truth, can survive what's coming next. The legal firestorm begins before sunrise. Multiple law firms announce a class action investigation into Camp Mystic, not just for the flood, not just for the tragic loss of life, but for systemic negligence, discrimination, and emotional trauma going back years. Parents from past years, many of them affluent, many of them white, start quietly pulling their children's names from Mystic's future rosters. Some even demand tuition refunds, citing breach of trust. One anonymous parent tells a local news outlet, "We were promised safety, diversity, and care. We got none of that, and now we're complicit." Meanwhile, Sade Perkins isn't waiting for the courts to act. She uploads a nearly 40-minute video titled, "Let Me Show You the Receipts." In it, she carefully lays out her experience, naming names, citing incidents, and showing screenshots of discriminatory treatment. Everything from coded language during counselor training to footage of staff ignoring distress signals from Black and brown campers. The most jarring moment? She plays a voicemail from a parent of one of the flood victims. In it, the voice cracks as they say, "My child would still be here if someone just listened to you." The comments section explodes. Viewers flood the page with support, but also with stories of their own. Former Mystic counselors, rival camps, even junior league organizations all start sharing eerily similar patterns of neglect and racial hierarchy. And right in the center of it all is Sade, no longer cast as the angry outsider. Now she's the reluctant whistleblower, the voice that refused to be quiet, and the woman turning her trauma into testimony. The lawsuits are coming. The public eye isn't blinking, and as the pressure mounts, the question becomes, who else knew? And how long did they stay silent just to protect a summer camp's reputation? The sun sets on Camp Mystic, but the storm is far from over. You watch overhead drone footage. Buildings still stand, but the soul of the camp feels gutted. A banner once reading, "Where memories are made," now flaps in the wind, half torn, like a symbol of broken promises. Outside the main lodge, protesters gather with signs that read, "Justice for the forgotten," and "Our kids deserved better." Candlelight vigils are now held nightly at the gates. But it's not just the camp that's crumbling. Several of the parents named by Sade Perkins have gone dark on social media. One of them, a local business owner, shut down their boutique after dozens of one-star reviews flooded in. Another, a school board member, is reportedly under internal investigation following leaked emails that used discriminatory language. The ripple effect is growing. And then, in a quiet update that shakes the community again, two major sponsors of Camp Mystic publicly pull their funding. One calls the allegations deeply disturbing. The other says they are re-evaluating all ties moving forward. But while the system slowly creaks into action, it's Sade who delivers the final blow. This time, without saying a word. She posts a photograph to her Instagram story. It's a childhood photo of her little cousin, the same one who drowned in the flood, smiling wide with the caption, "They didn't listen when I begged them to fix it. Now they'll listen in court." The post goes viral, and now people are asking, if one woman could shake the walls of an institution with nothing but truth and conviction, why did it take a tragedy for anyone else to finally hear her? Would you have believed her before the flood, or only after it washed everything away?